Hello and welcome to all our viewers news cycle on global television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasib. A quick reminder that global television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The Nigerian Air Force has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining a highly combat-ready force following successful conduct of its 2026 second quarter route march exercise across commands and formations nationwide. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sunday Aneke said the exercise was designed to enhance physical fitness, endurance, discipline, and operational preparedness amidst ongoing security challenges, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and crude oil theft. He stressed that a physically fit and mission-ready force remains critical to sustaining effective military operations and achieving national security objectives. Meanwhile, troops of Operation Hatankai, in collaboration with special forces, have rescued 360 civilians, mostly women and children, who were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists in Goza local government area of Borno State. The development was contained in a post shared on X by security analyst Zagazola Makama. According to Makama, the rescue operation was carried out across several locations around the Mandara Mountains following a coordinated military offensive. Meanwhile, Katsina State government says efforts to secure the release of former director of Defense Information, retired Major General Rabi Abubakar, his wife, and other kidnapped victims have reached advanced stages, expressing optimism that they will soon regain their freedom. The government in Katsina disclosed this in a statement issued by the Commissioner for Information and Culture, Bala Zango. According to the statement, Governor Diko Rada directed security agencies to prioritize the safety of rescuing the retired military officer, his wife, and other captives immediately after the abduction along the Matazu axis of the state. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has charged senior police officers to embrace innovation, professionalism, and accountability as part of ongoing efforts to reform the Nigerian police force. Speaking at the conclusion of the Operational Change Leadership course in Abuja, he urged participants to promote intelligence-led policing, technology-driven crime prevention, and respect for human rights within their commands. The police chief also commended international partners and development agencies for supporting modern policing, leadership development, and institutional capacity building. Over now to Kebbi State, where Governor Nasir Idris has pledged tougher measures against individuals providing information or supporting bandit operations in the state. The warning came as the governor's agency security meeting at the government house in Birnin Kebbi following renewed bandit attacks in parts of the state. He reaffirmed the government's commitment to working with security agencies and local communities to combat banditry and restore peace across the state. Vice President Kashim Shettima will be in Ekiti State on Tuesday for a one-day working visit. Yinka Oyebode, the special advisor on media to Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji, said the vice president would inaugurate some projects in the state during the visit. Oyebode, in a statement in Ado Ekiti, stated that Oyebanji would also lead top government officials to receive the vice president on arrival at the Ekiti Agro-Allied International Cargo Airport, Ado Ekiti. The federal government has announced that the screening exercise for Nigerians in South Africa who registered for evacuation amidst renewed xenophobic attacks will conclude on Saturday. The disclosure was made in a statement issued by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Kimebi Ebenfa. Ebenfa says the exercise, which commenced on Thursday, is being conducted jointly by the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria, South Africa's Department of International Relations and Cooperation, the South African Police, and immigration authorities. Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has intensified efforts to promote social inclusion and economic development with the distribution of support package to persons living with disabilities and other vulnerable groups in the Federal Capital Territory under the Renewed Hope initiative. Our correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
A renewed push for inclusive development took center stage in Karamajiji, Abuja, as hundreds of persons living with disabilities and vulnerable Nigerians converge to benefit from the Renewed Hope Initiative Empowerment Program. The intervention, driven by the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is designed to strengthen livelihoods, expand economic opportunities, and improve the welfare of vulnerable citizens. Representing the First Lady, wife of Vice President Nana Shettima, said the initiative underscores the administration's commitment to ensuring that every Nigerian, regardless of physical condition or social status, has access to opportunities for growth and self-reliance.
Happy to inform you that today, 1,000 petite riders in Karamajiji community will each receive the sum of 50,000 naira to support and expand their existing businesses. Her Excellency Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, has also asked me to inform you that the construction of a brand new secondary school in this community is in progress.
The empowerment program is part of ongoing efforts by the Renewed Hope Initiative to reduce vulnerability, promote economic independence, and ensure greater participation of persons living with disabilities in national development. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
Let's now head to Lagos State, where the Federal High Court sitting in the state, in a landmark judgment, has declared unlawful the National Assembly's controversial 110 billion naira vehicle ad allowance scheme, ruling that the spending of 40 billion naira on 465 vehicles for lawmakers and 70 billion in support allowances for newly elected members breach procurement laws, constitutional obligations, and the public trust. The judgment delivered by Justice Yelim Bogoro, brought by the Social Economic Right and Accountability Project (SERAP) against the National Assembly. The court also ordered the Senate's President Godswill Akpabio and the Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas to ensure that all future procurements of Assembly process requirements and are also guided by the principle of transparency, accountability, and value for money. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has directed the immediate reinstatement of hundreds of non-academic staff recruited by the University of Calabar during the 2019-2020 employment exercise and ordered their inclusion on the institution's payroll. The directive followed the adoption of a report by the House Committee on Public Petitions, chaired by Bitrus Kwamoti. The affected workers had petitioned the House, alleging that despite being duly recruited and completing all necessary documentation, they were excluded from the payroll and denied salaries for several years. Moving now to electoral matters, where the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) has trained its staff on data protection and compliance as part of efforts to strengthen the security of voter information and official documents. Speaking at the event, the resident electoral commissioner for the FCT, represented by the Administrative Secretary Bimbo Olajudoye, said the training was designed to update staff on data protection regulations and the legal implication of data breaches. The one-day workshop was at the INEC FCT Conference Hall and focused on equipping staff responsible for voter data management with knowledge of data protection laws and compliance requirements. Now, open defecation remains a major sanitation challenge in many communities across Nigeria, despite efforts by the government and stakeholders to end the practice. Environmental advocates warn that the habit continues to pose serious health and environmental risk, particularly in rural areas. Kabir Hassan reports.
From contaminated water sources to the spread of preventable diseases, open defecation continues to threaten public health and sanitation standards in many parts of the country. Experts say the practice contributes to the transmission of diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and diarrhea, while exposing children to vulnerable groups to serious health risks. Environmental advocate Umar Farouk says the effects of open defecation goes beyond personal hygiene, affecting the entire community and the environment.
Often defecation remains a serious health concern because it affects food, environment, and the spread of diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, and other infections. And it also threatens children's health and contributes to poor environmental hygiene. Several factors continue to hinder the progress, which includes we have poverty, inadequate access to toilet and sanitation facilities, weak infrastructure also, lack of, limited awareness or orientation about the health risks associated with open defecation, and also in some rural areas, cultural practices or poor enforcement about the policies of sanitation remains a major challenge.
Despite awareness campaign and sanitation programs, several challenges continue to hinder efforts to eradicate open defecation. Among them are inadequate toilet facilities, poverty, rapid pollution growth, weak infrastructure, and limited awareness of the dangers associated to the practice. In some communities, cultural belief and poor enforcement of sanitation regulation have also slowed progress.
Government should invest in affordable sanitation infrastructure, stretching hygiene education, support rural communities with toilet constructions program, and also impose sanitation regulations. Citizens, on the other hand, must maintain clean environment, use sanitary toilet facilities, and actively participate in community sanitation programs to promote healthier communities.
Stakeholders believe that sustained public awareness, improved access to sanitation facilities, and stronger community participation are essential to achieving a cleaner and healthier environment. As Nigeria continued campaign to end open defecation, advocates say collective action by government, communities, and individuals remain a key to protecting public health and improving sanitation across the country. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
Now, experts had identified effective communication as one of the strongest pillars of a successful and lasting marriage. They say while love may attract two people together, understanding, patience, and healthy communications are what keeps the relationship stable throughout life's challenges. However, many homes today are battling emotional distance, frequent misunderstanding, and unresolved conflicts caused by poor communication. Sadia Yakubu examines the trend and files in this report.
Marriage brings together individuals from different backgrounds, personalities, and expectations. As couples navigate daily responsibilities and life pressures, communication often becomes the bridge that either strengthens or weakens the relationship. Experts say communication goes beyond talking. It involves listening attentively, understanding emotions, expressing feelings respectively, and resolving disagreements peacefully. Married counselors maintain that many broken relationships are not caused by lack of love, but lack of understanding and poor communication.
Take time to study them. Don't just kind of let it not be that because of outing, because of he spends on you, she makes you feel good, you want to proceed into marriage. Just take your time to study the person. Even as it is said, mathematics we do in school, we have to take time to study it very well before it becomes part and parcel of us.
When communication breaks down, minor misunderstandings can quickly escalate into major conflicts. Modern marriages also face increasing pressures from demanding work schedules, financial difficulties, social media distractions, and personality differences. These challenges, experts say, often create tension between couples, especially when difficult conversations are avoided.
If you are not honest, there's no how they will trust you. For example, if you've told somebody about something that you want to do, and then at the end of the day you went ahead to do something different, it's going to break that trust.
Some partners complain of not being heard or appreciated, while others withdraw completely during disagreement. Relationship experts warn that shouting, insults, prolonged silence, or poor listening habits can gradually destroy marriages over time.
I must give it to endurance and dedication. Why I say that is that love is continuity. It is a continuous act. Love is beyond sexual satisfaction, facial attraction, body posture. Love is about a bond that keeps two parties together as one.
Experts recommend several healthy habits for couples, including listening without interrupting, speaking respectfully during disagreements, being honest about feelings, avoiding blame, and spending quality time together regularly. They also encourage couples to learn forgiveness, apologize when necessary, and discuss sensitive issues calmly and privately. In an age filled with distractions and pressure, experts believe couples who learn to listen, understand and communicate with love are more likely to build stronger and lasting relationships. Communication, they say, is not just about words, but about connection, respect, and partnership. Sadia Yakubu, Global TV News.
We say a very big thank you to Sadia Yakubu for that report. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. We're starting to see increasing atmospheric energy and daytime heating across the country, and that means rainfall activity is set to become more active from tonight into Monday morning. Already a few thunderstorms are already developing over parts of the northeastern region. However, the chances for morning rainfall remains relatively slim, but isolated showers may occur around Niger State, the Federal Capital Territory, some parts of Benue, southern Kaduna, and parts of the southeastern coast. The flash point, however, comes later in the day. During the afternoon and evening hours, conditions become more favorable for thunderstorms development. Moderate rainfall and thunderstorms are expected across many parts of the south, the north-central region, including the northern states. This will affect parts of Kaduna, Gombe, Bauchi, some parts of Adamawa and Taraba. We advise residents to keep an eye on the sky and stay updated with local weather information, as thunderstorms may lead to brief periods of poor visibility and slippery roads. Thank you for watching. I remain Joyce Ogunleye.
You're welcome back from that break, and now to business news, where the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC Plus, has agreed to increase oil production quotas by a combined 188,000 barrels per day for July as part of efforts to support stability in the global energy market. The decision was reached during a virtual meeting involving key producers, including Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman, despite ongoing tensions in the Middle East. Analysts say the increase is unlikely to significantly affect oil prices due to concerns over supply disruptions linked to regional conflicts and uncertainty surrounding the Strait of Hormuz. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, says Nigeria is committed to strengthening economic cooperation with the European Union as both parties prepare to convene the 10th Nigeria-EU Business Forum in Lagos on June 25, 2026. According to a statement released by the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Bagudu described the forum as a strategic platform for attracting investment, fostering partnerships and advancing initiatives that support enterprise development, competitiveness, and long-term economic prosperity. The 10th edition of the Nigerian-European Union Business Forum is expected to bring together senior government officials, investors, development partners, and business leaders from Nigeria and Europe to explore opportunities for expanding trade and investment relations. The federal government of Nigeria plans to create about 7,000 direct jobs through an estate-based ranching program aimed at empowering young people and women, boosting livestock productivity and stimulating rural economic development. This was disclosed in a statement issued by the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development following a strategic engagement involving the Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Maiha. The statement noted that the proposed estate-based livestock management model is designed to provide structured opportunities for young people and women to participate in ranch operations and other livestock-related enterprises while promoting modern and sustainable livestock production systems. And now to the foreign scene, where political tension in Somalia have escalated after clashes between government forces and opposition-aligned fighters rocked the capital, Mogadishu, raising concerns over the country's stability. Kabir Hassan reports.
Residents of Mogadishu were awakened by gunfire as rival factions clashed over constitutional reforms and the extension of President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's tenure. Opposition groups have rejected the reforms, describing them as threat to Somalia's democratic process. We were frightened by the sound of gunfire throughout the night. Many families stayed indoors because they don't know what's happening or whether it's safe to go out. What we want is peace and stability, people who are already facing economic and humanitarian challenges. So we hope political leaders will resolve the differences through dialogue. The violence erupted ahead of planned opposition protests, prompting international calls for restraint and dialogue. The gunfire created fear across the neighborhood. Many people could not sleep, and parents were worried about the safety of their children. We are tired of political conflict. What ordinary citizens want is peace, security, and a chance to go about their daily lives without fear. Analysts warn that Somalia's political diversion, security challenges, and humanitarian difficulties could worsen if tensions are not resolved peacefully. Although calm has restored to parts of Mogadishu, concerns remain over the country's political future as stakeholders continue to call for a dialogue. Kabir Hassan, Global TV News.
In the meantime, Tunisia is witnessing protests outside the headquarters of the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, UNHRC, in Tunisia, with demonstrators demanding the deportation of undocumented sub-Saharan African migrants and the departure of the agency from the country. The protest under heavy security as activists and demonstrators gathered at the refugee office in the Lac district of the capital. Migration remains a sensitive issue in Tunisia, a major transit route for migrants seeking to reach Europe. Tensions have persisted since comments by President Kais Saied in 2023 sparked controversy and heightened concerns over the treatment of sub-Saharan African migrants in the country. High-ranking Lebanese army officers are among 12 at least killed in Israeli attacks across the southern Lebanon after days of the country agreeing a conditional ceasefire during the United States-mediated talks. Lebanon's army said a brigadier general, a captain, and a soldier died in an Israeli strike on a military vehicle on the Kadali-Nabatia road. The Israeli army said the attack was in the active combat zone and the movement in a combat zone requires coordination with the Israeli army, adding that the incident remains under investigation. And now talking sports, where the Premier League side, Brighton and Hove Albion, have completed the signing of Nigerian winger Zadok Johanna from Swedish club AIK Stockholm on a 5-year contract running until June 2031. The 18-year-old, who developed at Ikon Allah Football Academy before moving to Sweden, has impressed this season with 5 goals and 4 assists in 18 appearances. Brighton manager Fabian Hosella described Johanna as an exciting attacking talent capable of making a significant impact in the final third. And now to athletics, where Nigeria's Tobi Amuson has continued her impressive 2026 campaign by winning gold in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the new Taipei Athletics Open in Taiwan with a meet record time of 12.72 seconds. The victory adds to a string of strong performances this season, including a Diamond League win in Rabat and a gold medal at the African Championships in Accra, Ghana. Amuson remains among the world's leading hurdlers this year as she prepares for the Diamond League final and other major international competitions. And finally, Team NSITF and York Solutions have qualified to represent Nigeria at the 2026 World Corporate Golf Challenge World Finals in Beijing, China, as the national finals held at the Ikoyi Club 1938. The team NSITF pair of Oluwatoyin Oni and A. Johnson secured victory with a combined 75 step-forward points, while Yoke Solutions Talat Akar and Arun Sharmar topped the gross category with a score of 65. Both teams will represent Nigeria at the global final scheduled for October 11 to 23 in Beijing, China. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now displaying on your screen by using at Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.